why not just get a hooker? What's up guys, King Epic here, and this is going to be a highly controversial one, radical opinion so to speak. Have you ever thought about the difference between being with a regular girl versus a working girl, aka hooker? This is something I absolutely love, ponder about opposing opinions, whether they come from friends or I simply read them online. For myself, what I'm really getting from meeting regular girls is thrill and validation. Thrill in the sense that you're never sure if you will get her, how it will end, and validation, well, the feeling, that little ego boost you get after sleeping with a new girl. Here's what I realized though. I can actually feel bad after sleeping with normal girls, at least sometimes. Really, I'm thinking to myself, all that effort just for that little time in bed? Man, what a waste of time. Recently, I got intimate with a lovely girl from Bangkok. It was super easy, super fast. All in all, I'd say less than 30 minutes from meeting to landing in bed. She was a massage girl and told me beforehand. No, I didn't have to pay. But even worse, she slept over. The experience was nice. She was the hardest girl so far, and I would have never thought I'd end up in bed with her. But you know what? I also had opposing thoughts. Like, I could have just gone to her massage parlor, paid 1500 baht, and gone about my business afterward. Don't get me wrong. Of course, it's only natural and healthy to meet regular women. But at some point, it's worth considering a change. For example, I know that meeting women always means time and effort, even if all goes as quickly as in the example I just mentioned. And the only reason I can justify putting in that time and effort is if I keep her around for longer. And that brings me to my point. One night stands and quick hookups are absolutely pointless. And for exactly those, hookers are the perfect alternative. To start with, I'm speaking from experience. This isn't coming from a white knight that only meets regular girls and now tells you that, paying for sex is bad. The most common objection I hear from people is saying, it doesn't just feel real when you pay for it. That's funny. I've only ever heard that from guys that have never tried hookers. And to expand on that, it depends on what you're paying for. Of course, if you're paying for a 10-minute BJ on a dirty street around the corner, it won't feel real. But a regular encounter, for example, pulling a freelancer, going to a massage place, will just be, if not more fun than with a regular girl. There's even a service becoming increasingly popular called girlfriend sex, or GFS for short. Hey, what more could you ask for? While you're in the midst of passionate her, you are not suddenly going to pause, think, and tell yourself, I really shouldn't be enjoying this because I paid for it, but I shouldn't feel good about it. Of course not, you won't even notice. So when is paying sex worth the investment? Horniness level 1000 plus. If there's no girls you can call up and simply want to experience something else, then hookers are the way to go. The process is time efficient and as simple as ordering Chinese food. You just go there, pick a girl, and her. For variety and fetish, this is something that people rarely think about. Blonde, African American, Latina, Asian, porn star, MILF. The entire spectrum, whatever you're looking for, I can guarantee you it's available in the world of pay sex. Depending on where you live, it can be next to impossible to have sex with some type of girl simply because of availability. Some of the hookers were really hot to the point where I haven't ever seen anything comparable in my daily life. Real world experience, another one. In my case, this was the main reason I went there the first couple of times. I haven't had sex before, but also saw no point in waiting any longer. The experiences were invaluable later on for when I actually met regular girls. It made the process so much more enjoyable, and more importantly, it helped me feel comfortable in these kinds of situations. I have to admit though that before I had the first experience, I also struggled with the idea of doing it. I thought, does it mean if I'm a loser if I pay for it? Eventually I got over my ego and just did it, and nowadays I totally enjoy it. Porn, masturbation alternative. I'm sure some guys will lynch me for this advice, arguing that it will take away all the motivation. Here's my take on it. I'm not a fan of watching porn, nor masturbation. Both can be, depending on your current life situation, very destructive habits. On the other hand, there's no denying that we all have the need for intimacy and sex. So why not get the real deal? Actual human contact instead of just jerking off to online porn. To me, it sounds like a way better alternative. But needless to say, I had lots of misconceptions about pay sex, the women involved, and the overall experience. One of those was, losers do pay for sex. I'm undesirable, no other women will take me. Paying a woman for sex is the last resort of a man failing to get laid. Once you do it, you are branded for life. Admittedly, there's probably a percentage of these men. They simply see no other feasible way to get laid with the women that they want. It might be the age difference or a specific fetish. There's many reasons. However, people I know who have or are still occasionally paying for sex are almost always doing extremely well with ladies. Some of them are actually coaching, others get laid every weekend. For them, it's not a big deal. They get laid anyway, and paying for a hooker doesn't magically make them a loser. Not a single fuck is given, besides the one paid for. Guys that struggle with women, that's a different story. For them, paying for sex is a dent to their self-image. They would rather miss out on the experiences or argue about how it's just a wimp's way to avoid rejection than, you know, just giving it a try and deciding afterwards. Prostitutes might be able to offer different sexual experiences than regular. After all, fucking is what they do all day long. It's what they're supposed to be good at. STDs, nasty souvenirs. Anytime you get intimate with someone, there are risks involved. Contracting something nasty has been a major concern of myself. At the same time, I believe to be much safer with hookers. Okay, when I say this and I say hookers, what I really mean is professional ones that work in massage parlors, that work in, for example, bars, stuff like that, or escorts. I'm not talking about the 45-year-old hooker on the street that sleeps on the street and doesn't even have money for condoms. And the places I went to require these professionals to have protected sex under the penalty of getting banned from the establishment. These women are very strict. They're anal. Like, sometimes you even hear the term condom Nazi thrown around when it comes to Thai girls because they're so anal about hygiene and protection. And this makes perfect sense. Their income depends on their health. Consider the average girl who isn't quite as seasoned to always act rationally. It's easy to get overwhelmed during foreplay and just skip using a condom. She is rationalizing, oh, this is a rare occasion anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then you hear, oh, we don't need this, I just want to feel you. That's a proven recipe for disaster. Crack whores, only a myth. Few women fantasize about having sex with men for money. Prostitution exists due to lack of better alternative. There's not many other ways for a woman to earn money that quickly, that easily. Perhaps doing porn or marrying rich, but takes a lot more effort. A regular job would only provide a fraction of that income. I'm talking about $100 to $200 an hour. They aren't obligated to take every customer. I've experienced that firsthand. What makes these women different to regular girls is mainly their good looks and sometimes their high self-confidence. Yes, they are normal to talk to. But street hookers, to an extent, can be a different breed. This is where stereotypes of HIV-infected, heroin-addicted whores might actually be true, to an extent. But of course, you got to differentiate between the difference in freelancers. There are some that are students or even work in massage parlors that just want to make some extra money and go on the streets or go to the clubs. And on the lower spectrum of that, you have maybe the 45-year-old woman that just takes anybody for 300 baht and doesn't care much about her health. So you always got to differentiate, okay? And with hookers, I have the attitude, I'd rather pay a bit more and get quality and stays. Hookers aren't that different to the regular girls you meet, and with some of them you will connect better than with others. Given you have realistic expectations and are fairly normal, you can expect a overall good experience. And by realistic expectations, I mean you don't think she'll do more than agreed upon or even meet you in private or you get a free bang, stuff like that. In conclusion, taking money out of the equation, and unless you have a constant stream of premium girls, sex is definitely worth it. There's so much to see and do that you won't get anywhere else. Beyond sexual practices and fetishes, there's all sorts of erratic massages. Hell, even I have only experienced a tiny portion of what's available out there. Perhaps the biggest risk with pay sex is that once you've had a naked hooker in bed, most regular girls will pale in comparison. Your standards will certainly be different. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Let me know your opinion about this highly controversial topic. How do you do it? Do you mostly pay for it, or do you have a rotation of regular girls or a girlfriend and you do it on the side, or what's your opinion? Let me know and I'll see you in the comment section. Alright, take care. Hey, King Epic here. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button to get new videos right into your inbox. If you want to see hidden camera and bonus videos, go to kingepic.com, put in your email address, and watch the first video right away.